play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bombstastic gonna find Rainer.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Nexus Gaming series. If you got a notification that said that we were doing C West, I apologize. We're doing B West tonight. It's gonna be Soak Every Lane versus Roll1Esports. And even before we get into this, we've got Black Cat here coming out wanting the replay cast between the Phoenix Rising Onyx and Deviled Kegs, another B West teams here that played just a couple days ago actually. And just letting our teams know that I am all set. We're going to see Soak Every Lane versus Roll1Esports. Where are these teams in the standings? Let's take a look. So currently, they're pretty close. 8 points so far, and 6 points for Roll1 and Soak Every Lane here. As far as the number of games they've played, so Roll1 has played 7, Soak has played 5. So Soak Every Lane, in theory, could find themselves with 2 domination victories just to catch up to half the division there. Could catch up all the way right behind Lurk Patrol with 13 points. But they got a little bit of a climb to go to get there, and that starts with Roll1Esports. Now Roll1Esports here with a 2-0 domination could get themselves up over the Who Knows Gaming as well, putting them right behind Lurk Patrol. Actually, it'd be tied with them. Let's take a look. What do we have for our map bans tonight? Soak Every Lane banned out Towers, did I say Towers? Derp. Sky Temple and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Whereas Roll1Esports banned out Volskaya Foundry and Alterac Pass. And our first game going to be on Dragonshire. Now selected by Soak Every Lane. And we're all set and ready to go. This game is going to load in a second. There we go. Alright, so the only black cat. Garunix cat? I'm assuming I said that right. You'll have to let me know if I did not. So, Dragonshire, one slight adjustment now available on Dragonshire is that Brightwing may be played here. I don't have an audience clap track, so I'm just going to clap for myself here. But she can be played. She just can't go into the Dragon Knight. If she's literally the only person on the map, she cannot go into the Dragon Knight. So there you go. But we're going to get started here with the ban on Stukov and Oriel. So these supports are the target today. Oriel, pretty common at this point. Hasn't been nerfed just yet. That res, crazy. And we're going to see Johanna the next ban out here for Roll1Esports. No clap emote. Is there no clap? There's got to be a clap, right? Yeah, there's clap right there. There's some clap. Yellow Snappers. Can you counterpick stupid or genius? Yes. Oh, what is that one from Ektar? Clappy. Oh, I love it. That's cute. All right, so we got Johanna, the final ban, the Falstad, and you know what Falstad is? I gotta say, I appreciate that ban. That's a good ban here. Hey everybody, welcome from Slexia's stream, coming over from the heroic game from tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. Regen versus Chicken Nuggets. I kind of want to know who won that. But we're going to see ETC and somebody else picked up here by Soak Every Lane as Kael'thas, the first selection. Kael'thas, there we go. And it's going to be ETC Vala. So Vala, what kind of Vala are we going to see? Multi-shot, you think? It's going to be a Hungering Arrow. Can get some easy procs off the Dragon Knight if you lose it. Wait, how is there a kid over here? Who did I... Philip K, Doubles, Strogs. Oh, Tornado. Is Tornado on the other side? Who the hell was Tornado? Why do I have them on my list? Whatever. All right. Velvet picking up the Rhaegar and the Anubrak. Going to be the selection here from Rock Your World. I like the Anubrak. That's going to help them against the ETC. Multiple ways to interrupt a mosh pit. Potentially as many as 3. Just from the Anubrak by themselves. Sorry I had to leave kind of abruptly yesterday. Yeah, no worries, Ektar. I said let's actually set aside some time to discuss that. And you know what? Maybe we do that together. I don't know if that's your cup of tea or not. No worries, Tornado. I was so confused. I'm looking at my list. I'm like, who is this kid? Kid just showing up, taking ETC and stuff. By the way, the ban out onto Greymane and the Deathwing, making it all the way through. You know, we played earlier tonight, had 2 sets. I don't know that we banned Deathwing in either. Like, neither team banned Deathwing, neither team took Deathwing. We're just like, whatever. We're not. Deathwing didn't exist for us. Oh, man. Oh, gotcha, Tornado. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, I appreciate you being here, ready to go, ready to play for your team, just in case, you know, keep things rocking. And Duble's going to pick up the Deckard and the Orphea coming out as well, and this is starting to shape up now. We got some good CC potential out of the Deckard and the ETC, and then that Eternal Feast following up with the Jaina multi-shot. Ooh, that could be pretty exciting. But what are they gonna get for their solo lane? I mean, I assume Rexar's not banned, so they could look at Rexar, they could look at Shen, they could look at Artanis, they could look at Leoric, they could look at Blaze. I think Rexar probably is the right way to go if they run it. That gives them a beefy front line with some more CCs. Plays pretty decently into Leoric, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, you know who else might work is Yrel. But I don't know how she does against Leoric. I like the Sylvanas pick too. These are fun drafts. Oh, okay, Malthael. Yeah, okay, fair enough. See, even the system was like, hey, you should be playing Rexar because it was already on my list. But here are our drafts here. Who do you think's gonna win game number 1? Is it going to be Soak Every Lane on the left here, or is it gonna be Roll1Esports on the right? Who wins game number 1? Soak Every Lane or R1E? Start that poll. You can vote in chat. Apparently not on mobile. That's not my problem. That's not my fault. Rather, I didn't make Twitch. But you can if you're at your desktop. Just select the drop down at the top of your chat, hit your selection, and then select vote. Let's see who's gonna win this game. I don't know. I could see both of these. Like, the potential is there for the Leoric Entombs. You've got some good engage and stuns out of the Anubrak, but you also have that out of the ETC. And ETC, if they can get a really good mosh pit with this combo, is just gonna destroy. Yellow Snappers. You know what? I'll try to give you some of my feedback as we go through the game. How about that? Sylvanas is not, like, I play Sylvanas like crap, but we do have a couple of good Sylvanas players on our team, so.
10 seconds.
All right, on the left here, Soak Every Lane. We've got Doubles playing the Deckard, Kid on the ETC, Strogs on the Orphea, Demon 13 playing the Vala, and up at the top, the Captain, Philip K, playing the Malthael. And we've got the trains, so that's up to them, not up to me. I'm not going to deal with that. Anubrak going to be played by Rock Your World here for Roll1Esports. It's going to be Velvet playing the Rhaegar, the Christmassy Rhaegar, with Mr. Reindeer Rhaegar. Zad on the Sylvanas. Juaniba playing Kael'thas, and Alberto playing Leoric. Look for ways to get an advantage using her push power over something else. The game just... Alright. A little bit of a pause-ish moment there as the game had to catch up. You know, Yellow Snappers, if you want to see a game of Sylvanas, like, really doing well, and I'm not, like, trying to pat ourselves on the back, but we just played one, and it was, like, 90% Sylvanas valued. So, that's over on the Nexus Gaming Series Game 2 if you want to check that out. Oh, the game has really got some lag moments here. Hopefully that doesn't cause us any problems later. 50-50 on the votes, 3-3. Love to see it. These guys, and I see that. I mean, these teams are pretty even, and the drafts, I think, are pretty even too. So, taking a look at some talents here. We got the Fingers of Frost. Jaina's not even on the map. Who the heck is this caster? We've got Mana Addict for Kael'thas. Anub'arak going into Nerubian armor, giving him that extra spell armor. I was a little late on that. The Fealty unto Death, so helping Leoric stay into the lane as the first blood of the game, going over there to Roll1Esports. They're looking now for that ETC, and exactly what I said earlier with that Anub'arak, the stun from the Burrow Charge, the stun from the Impale, and you also have a potential Gravity Lapse in there too. And the burst damage from this team between Kael'thas and Sylvanas, like, they're gonna put some work in on this. So we shall see. Agree with the Q build. Sorry. Trying to catch up on track. You guys are talkative tonight. Lots of stuff going on here. So that's going to give the Dragon Knight is going to get stalled out here. Malthael up on top, but Sylvanas again with the Black Arrows shutting down the towers here. So they've already got half of each of these towers down. Now keep in mind too, they have Anub'arak Beetles as well. So even without Sylvanas and the Black Arrows, there's still the opportunity for them to push that down. But Sylvanas is going to get knocked back. She throws out that Haunting Wave, but not able to make use of it thanks to that Face Melt. So far, the kill's 1-1 here, and Roll1Esports is very far forward, all things considered, considering they have no Sylvanas, and they're going to pay for it. Anub'arak's going to go down, Rhaegar's going to go down. Big Scroll of Sealing out of Deckard, locking them down, and I think that they just needed to accept they lost their Sylvanas, they lost a lot of their damage, and pull the team back a little bit there. Even if they just pulled back to, like, right here, in this area, Kael'thas at that point could have thrown some living bombs, and that could have discouraged Soak Every Lane from coming in. But we are where we are. Now ETC looking for that Sylvanas again. There's a Hunting Wave. She's not going to be able to get out with it, though. And a good gank there. Holding that bush, being patient, allowing Sylvanas to get low to the Vala. Oh no, the rotation up here, getting onto the Malthael here. Nearly killing the Leoric in the process. And the Dragon Knight, for just the briefest moment, was available for the red team. But not quite able to make it. Greymane can mount in wolf form. What? You know, actually, Yellow Snappers, if I remember correctly, Ziltoid put together a Sylvanas guide on the NGS page. Like, go to the nexusgamingseries.org and look at the blogs. There's a specific one on Sylvanas. Sylvanas getting very low once again here. Deckard nearly getting that. Even the Chomp coming out from Orphea nearly getting the kill onto Zad. Zad being the primary target here of these attacks. So they got to be careful. Although Kael'thas is a mile ahead of his team. And that's going to give him another kill. Really have to be careful about positioning here. You've got the Anub'arak who wants to make use of that Burrow Charge, but ideally, like, wants to also have it available in case they need to get out. So with Orphea on the siege camp here, this is going to be kind of a sketchy play either way. ETC is going to get the power slide. Sylvanas has got to wave out. She does. She makes it just to the other side of the wall, or the route there as well. But Vala coming down, and Anub'arak is probably going to die here. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, whatever. Is able to dodge the route here. Stroke's now getting very low, but not quite enough damage to follow up there. I have the link for the game Era was talking about with Sylv, but you have whispers turned off. You can whisper me and I will send it. That's correct. Yes. Thank you, Not Paradox. Yes, it was Twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series. It was the most recent one between Region Phoenix and Salt Scale Rules. Level 10's available here. And we're fighting. We are fighting down 10s here and down a hero for a little bit. There comes the Stay a While and Listen's gonna get a 5-man sleep, but these health bars are so very low. They're gonna get the kill onto the Leoric. I was gonna say I'm amazed that's all so far, as Orphea's gonna fall. Still no 10s for Roll1, but they might be able to get the kill onto Philip K. It looks like they will. And that was something. That was a fight that you don't expect to take, but also you have the Kael'thas, you have the stun potential from the Anub'arak and the Kael'thas in those tight quarters. Leoric came in from behind, so was able to kind of slow down and choke out the disengage potential from Soak Every Lane. So ultimately that ended up being a positive trade for Roll1Esports. All right, Leoric is going to be able to pick up the Dragon Knight here and get working on the mid lane here. The Crushing Jaws, I guess, just working on the damage here, because of course Orphea doesn't have, she has, lengthy cooldowns for most of her abilities. But with the Sylvanas and the Anub'arak, I mentioned it earlier here, they're able to take out this wall. They have the siege camp as well, but big mosh pit gonna hit the 2. The interrupt out from Sylvanas, but not early enough to save Anub'arak here. So now having to disengage here, we are gonna get that last rites onto the Rhaegar, I think is who got that killed, yeah. And then the rest of the team saying, hey, let's get ourselves a Kael'thas and a Sylvanas. And the Dragon Knight is not quite going to be able to get that mid fort. Those minions are going to attack each other rather than taking the fort down. But that's not got but a couple hundred health probably. What is it? 11,000 or 1,100 rather. And level 13's available now on the side of Soak Every Lane. Oh, that's not the right button. Sorry. Oh man, we got well, Crushing Jaws. So Crushing Jaws is a fairly short cooldown. There's the cocoon now onto the ETC, the root to help zone out, but expect a stun here. Yeah, there you go, double stun. Got the gravity lapse as well, the face melt to knock the team away, and ETC is still pretty low here. Doesn't have another disengage just at the moment. I don't like how far Kael'thas is separated from his team here. Stay a While and Listen's gonna put them to sleep, and now Sylvanas having to be careful here. The burrow charge out from Anub'arak, so they are gonna be safe. I think Kael'thas could have been punished heavily for that, but Soak Every Lane was really looking to get their ETC out, and ultimately both sides able to make it out of that rather dangerous position, really. But again, 13's still the advantage here for Soak Every Lane. Now, I don't expect them to try to invade this again, right? Last time it did not go well for them. They had heroics, the enemy team didn't, and they got punished for it pretty hard. So even with the 13 talent here, it would be dangerous for them to do that into that Kael'thas, especially with the ultimates now. And 13's just not that big of a tier usually.
It won't be long before the shrines are ready for the taking.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate the kind words, Not Paradox. We got a little bit of a bush gank here. It looks like instead we're gonna rotate down. Cocoon going out onto ETC. The Impale there locking him down. ETC's gonna knock off the point here. Is by himself for the moment. Crushing Jaws is gonna come out, and the camp does end up going over to Soak Every Lane here, but everybody falling so low. Anub'arak's going to be the one to fall here from that power slide, but we're going to see Sylvanas next. I actually thought Sylvanas was the one person that could have really made it out, but they end up turning on her and getting her instead of working on the other two farther back there. And makes sense. She was closest to them, and she doesn't have a whole lot of health even at full health. So Leoric and Malthael here. So Malthael's going to head up top. This could be the potential first Dragon Knight here for Soak Every Lane, as they do have now their level 16s. It's going to be that Scroll of Stone Curse, so extra damage on those roots. ETC coming in, gets gravity lapsed. Probably saved the Kael'thas there, because I think that could have been a two-man mosh. And Leoric trying to disengage here, doesn't have a lot of health, is going to get last rights. And it looks like Deckard Cain going to be going into the Dragon Knight here. And Nubrak trying to maybe get into that Bruiser camp just a moment too late to do so. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Snappers, it's really just about the timing and the placement of the engages overall. Some of them have really been in their favor, and then, you know, others haven't, and they've really just got to have a little bit better positioning, and I think that they can win some of these fights. We also saw a little bit of a disconnect in the timing of their stuns, right? We had the Nubrak Impale that went out, could have had the Gravity Lapse from Kael'thas immediately after that on the ETC that we saw earlier, and then had the Burrow Charge. So we have a few different ways, you know, minor little things, and instead of being 14-4, this could be 10-10. But this Dragon Knight, they take out 2 forts so far. Deckard is the one in the Dragon Knight, so he has to be a little bit careful. He doesn't want to be too close to this wall, because he doesn't really have a whole lot of disengage. It's not like he's got the Lornado to push the enemy team away, should they elect to come chasing after him. Looks like they might be looking here for this Leoric. They do get the auto attack to slow down the Leoric here. And they get him. Kind of thinking they'll get this, yeah, this Bruiser camp. So this Bruiser camp goes into top lane. Top lane is not your most effective lane. It's not the lane you want to go push down if you can help it. But you know what? Taking this Bruiser camp, first of all, takes it away from Roll1Esports. The other thing it'll do is start working on this fort, get this well down, and that makes the solo lane a lot easier to pick up. That said, because of that, Sylvanas and the power of the Merc Queen going to be able to take down this bot lane fort, and they've got 2 sieges now. The problem is they're getting flanked, and they're getting flanked hard. There's no haunting wave here for Sylvanas now, so she's got to run until that comes back up. Cocoon is going to go out onto Orphea. Rhaegar giving the cleanse onto Sylvanas as well. It's going to be very difficult for her to get away from that Malthael. I literally went through 4 different heroes with Mals in them before I remembered the name of Malthael. But the last right's coming out, and no effectiveness, as 100 taking a hero down from 100% doesn't get you anywhere on a last rights. So does Roll1 sniff this out? They're coming in. They see him bottom. They're coming into this. So Malthael, using his own Unstoppable, is going to get taken out. And that could be just the momentum that Roll1 needs. They got that bottom fort earlier, so that's really high value for them. It equalizes them in the structures. They're not too far behind in XP, but they are going to have a delay in that 19 to 20 range. But this is going to help them out a lot. Opening up top lane makes it easier for the solo lane. It makes it easier for them to gather the top shrine. But on the same token, they see the enemy in the bot lane, they get top. Well, the enemy in the bot lane sees them in the top lane, so they get the bottom camp. And it's 19 to 17. This is where Roll1Esports really wants to try to find a fight. So I think that they clear this up and try to push into this, maybe even just push into this without that, if they can. Because ultimately they need to do this before level 20. They want to try to get this Dragon Knight before level 20 if at all possible. ETC gets the power slide in, has to be careful, can't mosh just yet. Cocoon going out onto Orphea. The silence on ETC could be just the death they need. Big root from Deckard Cain here, and the Dragon Knight is channeled. Alberto's going to get the half effective Ancestral as Last Right's going to take out, yikes, 3 of Roll1Esports now down. I don't even know which one of them that Last Rights was on. And Rhaegar going to be the next, I'm sorry, now is going to be the next to fall. So a full 5-man team fight. That looked so good for Roll1Esports, and then it just turned right around. They started off with the kill on the ETC, but that massive Deckard root, and I don't know, did the Entomb like backfire? Is that what happened? Because then they just started dying. Sometimes Entomb backfires. I can't talk. Words are hard. But level 20 coming up and already here for Soak Every Lane. Malthael is going to be able to zip down to get this real fast. And this is now a tough defense. This keep goes down before the Dragon Knight even gets here. Malthael is going to show up. Okay, maybe not, but it will soon. It'll be here soon. That keep definitely is gone with a level 20 advantage and the Dragon Knight. Now, take a look at some of these. So Malthael's coming back. He's got this buyback. We've got the Far Flight Quiver giving Vala extra range, but respect the Eldery. Blinded, silenced for 3 seconds. You do nothing. You stand around for 3 seconds. The upgraded Crushing Jaws, armor reduction. And then ETC with that Bolt of the Storm, looking for better positioning for those moshes. However, spreading a little bit of that Living Bomb is going to be a little bit of a pain. And with the Dragon Knight already sitting at half, taking just a ton of damage there from this Sylvanas push, we're going to see them pulling back. And they still have to be careful here, right? Roll1 can't just chase that dragon all the way until it dies. They're still looking for those level 20s. Mosh Pit's still available. Respect the Elderly still available. And the Crushing Jaws. So if they get a good, really any setup for the CC, even a Reign of Vengeance, it could spell doom for Roll1Esports. And there's the Flame Strike here. Leoric getting some additional damage onto that Dragon Knight. So a couple of minions here, a little bit of XP for Roll1 to catch up onto that level 20. And I don't think they keep going on this. I think that they just safely soak their XP, get to level 20. Wait to go nuts here. Expect that they're in that bush. They want you to come into them. They want that siege camp, and they know that you want it too. And that's very good. They're hanging out. There's the level 20. They don't have Leoric. Leoric's up in the top lane. That said, ETC's coming in. They see the Leoric, so we have the Buried Alive. That big silence. That could make all the difference for them here. Storm Shield from the Rhaegar. Also, the additional Withering. And it's going to be Flamethrower here for the Kael'thas. Let's zoom out a little bit. Philip K gonna get obliterated, but he's got a buyback, so he'll be back soon here. The trade out onto the Leoric. Respect the Elderly coming out. Only hits the one, it looks like. The camp picked up. And there is pressure on the core, so got to get back and take this out. That said, if you're going to lose anybody, Leoric's the guy to lose, right? You took that Malthael 3-minute cooldown, I think? Yeah, 3 minutes. So you forced that cooldown, and now Leoric, he'll be back. And he's going to come back even a little bit faster. And he comes back anywhere on the map that you want him to be. Tornado. Mouth just free to do whatever they want. Well, not that time he wasn't. All right, camp pressure mounting against Roll1Esports. They've got camps in the top, they got camps in the bottom. And is this bottom bruiser camp, is this where they want to take their fight? They might. Kael'thas can do a lot of work in a tight corridor, but so can an Orphea Deckard combo. So can the multi-shot Vala. There goes the root. It's going to be on to just Leoric, so he gets that armor loss. Roll1 going to go ahead and pull back. ETC coming in, spreading out the team. Sylvanas getting the cleanse, does use the Haunting Wave, is going to get caught by the root. However, Anubrak in danger here. The Respect the Elderly going out. Storm Shield going to keep Anubrak alive for a moment, but a big Crushing Jaws is going to come out and take out Sylvanas. Looks like they're going to get the 3rd kill onto Leoric. They're looking for Kael'thas, and Kael'thas being zoned out. It's going to be a quad kill for Soak Every Lane as they make their way onto the core. There's no need for a Dragon Knight. And that's going to be game number 1. Going over to Soak Every Lane on Dragonshire. See a little spray action here from the Leoric, showcasing his Leoric spray. Feels good. Always nice when you got a little synergy in your skin game. It occurs to me that sounds maybe a little inappropriate. Unintentionally. 25 kills to 7. That overall felt like Soak Every Lane, when they got kills, they got multiple kills. When Roll1 got kills, it was usually one at a time. and sometimes, you know, both sides would lose heroes, like the Malthael Leoric we saw. So it felt a little bit, to me, it felt a little bit closer than the stats imply. The Sylvanas provided a lot of value to help keep them mostly in that game until that last Dragon Knight. Take a look at these talents here. Crafty Trenton Spectrum, they're not in this, but saying GG's. So apparently somebody else just won. Exactly. You know what, Majesty? That is 100% true, right? As they say, you can't reverse sweep if you don't start with a loss. Any exciting talents here? Anything look a little bit outside? I don't think so. I think this is pretty much what you expect from, or certainly within reason from what you would expect of these heroes. So there you go. Well, game number 1, going over to soak every lane. An enjoyable match between these two teams. The squishy heroes, I feel like, on the side of Roll1Esports, they got a lot of damage. They put a lot of effort in. I mentioned a few times, little positioning differences will make a big difference for them. But if they're going to be on those squishy heroes, they have to make sure that they have a way to disengage. They've got the, you know, maybe a Johanna in front to help slow things down with a condemn or a blind or a punish or something. Some way to keep the enemy team from just walking right into them. ETC, you know, power sliding onto the Sylvanas at the right time means she can't get a Haunting Wave. Kael'thas has Mana Addict, gets that shield for the Arcane Barrier, but if if he's stunned, if he's far forward, it's not going to matter. That Mana Addict shield isn't going to do any good if it gives you an 800 point additional shield. You're still a low health hero, you're still going to die. So I think that if Roll1Esports has slightly better positioning in that, then they have more of those fights like that fight that they took down 10-9 over their siege camp. They look for those apparently one of the captains just went offline. That's unfortunate. But anyways, they look for those moments where they can take those engages and have everybody get those things working together, those living bombs. Yeah, I agree, Majesty. Just you know, a little bit. All right, so it looks like Roll1 is looking to take first pick. And it looks like Soak every lane's captain went offline. So let me see if I can find somebody else from the team and see what's going on. Let's see. So you know what? Why don't we take a short break here while we work out the technical difficulties, we'll call it. So I'm going to do a quick commercial and we'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Really appreciate it and hope you're enjoying the cast.
Impressive, Archer. But you'll need to do better than that.
You have no idea what I am capable of.
Good. Because you must be ready for anything.
が敵を食らう。Yield!
You show promise, Hanzo. Well done. But greater challenges still await us.
I believe we are ready.
It's time to find out.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Next Gaming Series Season 8 Division B West between Soak Every Lane and Roll1Esports. If you're just joining us, we had a little bit of a delay there. There was some concern that maybe one of the captains was offline, but turns out they weren't. They were good. So we're back and ready to go. We're going to hop right over to this draft. So this is going to be Battlefield of Eternity. This was the selection of Soak Every Lane, and we're going to continue on with that Stukov ban to get things started. And I'm going to write down who they played, because I didn't do that while I took the break. Sylvanas. And gonna see the Vala. Yeah, Vala being banned here is a no-brainer. It's a race map, and Vala's a very high race hero. And they played her well. Demon 13 playing that Vala very well in the first game. Those Reign of Vengeance ultimates were pretty on point. Certainly got the kill secure on the Leoric at least once. Yeah, and this is another, yeah, I was just gonna say, this is another potential Sylvanas map, so getting rid of Sylvanas, really high value target. Voila. And it's gonna be Greymane, the first selection here. Greymane is another high race hero, but also has the quick burst potential out of a Cursed Bullet, or a finish with that go for the throat. So really a lot of flexibility in the damage potential, either a quick burst at the beginning or a finish at the end. And it's going to be Garrosh, the first pick here for Soak Every Lane. And Philip K going to be picking up the Artanis. So that's the beginning of their race over there, going into that amateur opponent for this. What are we going to see paired with the Greymane? Do we see an Arthas maybe? Well, maybe not. Maybe they don't necessarily need to take the Arthas, because they took both their tank and the Artanis. So probably not. Go Probe. Go Probe. Probius could work. I've seen Probius do some work here. Rocket World gonna pick up the ETC and Waniba, flexing over from the Kael'thas into the Lunara. So again, Lunara actually can get a lot of value too with that Nature's Calling at level 4. She gets the additional damage. Oh, I like the Deathwing Dancing. The Deathwing Dancing. What are you talking about? Kiba, you're gonna have to... I have no idea what you're talking about. The Deathwing Dancing. Rhaegar going to be the third and final ban here from Soak Every Lane. And I like that. Actually, you know, Rhaegar would, I think, would do really well with this. They already played it in game 1. And Rhaegar would just add a lot of value. And you know what? Play some Bloodlust. Have some fun with it. Jimbobulary and Ricaro Recliner. Ricaro Yeah, Ricardo Recliner. Thanks for the follows. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you're enjoying the show tonight. Lunara, ETC, and Greymane. All right, and then we got the Deckard, and this time it's going to be Jaina. And Jaina brings a lot of race as well. I think she might be... I don't know if Li Ming technically has more race than Jaina. I suppose it depends on their builds, and also if you can get the orbs, if you go orb build. If you can get those resets, especially at level 7, reducing that cooldown to like 1 second, then probably orb build beats out Jaina. But I think Jaina, when you compare just raw stats of just punching straight into it. Fair enough. Well, I tell you what, Yellow Snappers, feel free to ping me on Discord, and I'll be happy to send you links to both the game and also help you find Ziltoid's guide that he put together. Probably a little bit different, but I mean the overall concept's the same. It's gonna be a Sergeant Hammer for soak every lane. So this is, I mean, they've got pretty good protection for it. They got Jaina slows. They've got Deckard roots. Could be a potential for the Lornado. You got Garrosh to throw people into or out of the fray, and then you got a Artana swap. So I mean, sure, why not? That said, ETC can power slide, Leoric can walk right in, Greymane can dive, Lunara can essentially dive. So there are a lot of ways to get into that. Shame. What's up, Arrow Merlin's Ghost? Hey buddy, how's it going? Having a good time tonight. Played our match tonight. We played against, it was a number 1 versus number 2 of B East seeds, so that was a fun game. And now watching some B West, going really well so far. So great Hammer last pick, looking good for soak every lane, doesn't it though? Like it does that. I mean, Hammer was a great pick. I think that's they've got a lot of value out of that. So let's get our teams introduced here. Get those pop-ups going. All right, so on the left here, it's going to be Soak Every Lane, looking to close this out with a 2-0 domination. It's going to be Philip K on the Artanis, Demon 13 on the Sergeant Hammer, Kid playing the Garrosh, Doubles on the Deckard once again, and Jaina going to be played by Strogs. And Strogs actually going to be the solo lane on this one. They really want to protect that Hammer. Over here to the right, we've got Roll1Esports looking to start on the reverse sweep. It's going to be Alberto playing the Leoric Waniba on the Lunara here. Zad on the Greymane. Now Velvet on the Anduin, and Rock Your World on ETC. And as we can see, Roll1Esports is saying, where's the hammer? Right? Where is the hammer? We don't want to split up until we know where they're going to try to push. And that's a good play. Oh, that's a great chastise. Absolutely fantastic first blood here from Roll1Esports. Way to make use of those combos to get that. Do you remember who I am? Yeah, Emmy, right? Did I get that right? I think, hopefully. Man, I'm gonna feel like an ass if not, so I guess we'll find out. In 30 seconds, we'll find out. All right, but anyways, so setting up here, Hammer starting to smash onto this lane here. The swap looking, but not able to find anything, at least not this time. So Hammer not going into ambush here, taking advanced artillery, so additional splash damage, and also the radius. So that's going to help her to splash onto enemy heroes when they're tight in lane. It's going to allow her to do extra damage to the wall, to the towers, and the minions. So yeah, okay. We also have scroll of identify, field study. Right. Identifies the other one. Field study. So that's a big burst of spell power for Deckard when he gets those roots for quite a bit of time here. Of course, the amateur opponent, we got the Wrecking Ball upgrade, Unrivaled Strength, wants to throw people as far away from that hammer as possible, and it's going to be the range increase for Jaina as well. So probably going to take that Arcane Intellect at 4. Short range swap for Artanis onto the ETC there. It's going to be a bold strategy out for Anduin, looking for that additional healing coming from the other two talents there, pursued by Grace, getting the extra heals every time he does damage to a hero, and Renew. So auto attacking a hero gives him a little bit of a heal over a time when he does his flash heal. Yeah, I don't remember everybody, but actually, if I'm being honest, until you said, do you remember who I am, I hadn't quite made the connection. Then I was like, oh yeah, of course, it's Emmy. So Prog Rock going to be the case here for ETC. Now, Prog Rock is not super easy to complete on BOE normally because there aren't just that many globes, right? I mean, you can't just rotate between lanes. If you get the Immortal globes, that's great, but you know, sitting at 8 already for ETC is, I think, pretty solid. That means that they're doing pretty well, and that's, I think, part of the benefit going into this Hammer team is that Hammer wants to be a little far away from the action. Fealty unto death. It's gonna be Neil Peasants here as well. So Leoric wanting to make sure that he can clear lanes quickly and get that extra healing and mana. Gonna be cocktail build for Greymane as Race very slightly ahead currently, at least for Roll1Esports, it looks like. Now keep in mind too, they didn't have Leoric. Leoric and Artanis, often there are separate lanes here. Jaina as well. And we see already Greymane and Lunara trying to poke this down. ETC getting stunned as well as the Garrosh there. Ultimately going to knock him back. The swap coming in, but because of that root, Artanis just getting a free trip to go. Did not collect the $200, but certainly got a bunch of damage onto the team there. Nearly taking out ETC and the Greymane. ETC coming in, looking for this Deckard. Deckard's very low, but ETC gonna get taken out by that Blizzard. Equalizing these kills 1-1, and with Hammer now sitting on this point, gonna be very difficult to continue to poke into this. They don't have something like a Li Ming. Siege Tactics the pick here for Hammer. And just as I said it, they just walk right in. And they get it. So Roll1Esports does get the first Immortal of the game. It's gonna go into the bot lane. And also on top of that, look at how low everybody is over here on Soak Every Lane. But this is what we saw in the first game too, right? There were a lot of fights that Roll1 was able to bring into Soak Every Lane. They got them to 20%, 10%, what have you, and then lost the fight. So they need to get those kill confirms. Now, where did they get that? They get it from Greymane. And Lunara has not got the leap, so great on Roll1Esports to burn down that sidewall so quickly. They just didn't have the ability to get her out quickly enough, though. So good throw there by Kid, especially making use of that unrivaled strength, throwing Lunara over that wall into the corner and making sure that she could not get back out. Rotation coming in onto Artanis here. There's the power slide. Possibly going to be swapped. The swap misses, though. Big juke out of Rock Your World, making sure that Artanis had to stay put. And this is looking really strong so far for Roll1Esports here. Now, they don't have Lunara, so this is a 4 versus 4 up in the top. It's equal. The Siege Camp is going to attack them, and Hammer has, she does have that Siege mode now. Hover mode? Hover Siege mode. All right, I got all the words. Just couldn't put them all together. Good point, Segatai. Why no block party? Nice leap of faith, keeping Zad alive. Zad's so low there. One more auto attack from the Sergeant Hammer would have been enough. Even a splash probably enough, but just not quite able to get there as Lyric's going to head back into the bot lane to deal with the Artanis. Now that leaves Lunara coming back up here. I'm just going to say letting Deathwing through was wrong from both teams. Yeah, 4 games tonight. No Deathwing bans, no Deathwing picks. So far. Maybe it comes later. But up in the top here. Now, Kid is coming up, so ETC's going to use that face melt to knock him away. And that's going to keep the team nice and protected. So Immortals coming up. Roll1Esports so far ahead on the race to level 10. And Soak Every Lane is going to take this time to get onto their Shaman camp. They want to try to see what they can get onto that, have that pushing in the lane. Jaina trying to get the level 10s here for Soak Every Lane as quickly as possible, but Roll1 says, you know what, we want to get this halftime proc as soon as possible. We don't want to be on your half of the map when we're dealing with level 10s. And now, Soak Every Lane catching up on the XP thanks to Jaina there. And with that advantage here, yeah, I was going to say Roll1 can just zip down, gather this XP in the lane, get that level 10, but both teams now have it. ETC looking for that Artanis, but both ETC and the Entomb missing here. The swap onto Anduin, and Anduin is just toast. That was absolutely the longest range swap they could have possibly had, and there was just nothing. Anduin had nothing. Like, even a light, like, he probably could have light bombed because it's such a short cooldown, but it didn't really matter. Jaina doesn't have an ice block, but does get a potion, so she's gonna stay alive there from that leaping strike coming out from the Lunara. But at this point, I mean, Roll1's like, I don't know, they're playing into the defenses, and this is a very defensive team. They've got all kinds of throws and stuns and by the way, hammer, and that's exactly why. And now Anduin's back, but they're down in ETC, and all the while Artanis is up in the top here. I think that they just go defend, but they're looking for the Jaina. They do have the light bomb coming out. It's not going to land, and Jaina's actually going to kill both the Greymane and Leoric. Lunar's going to get thrown. Anduin's going to be the next one. I think that instead they just come right up here. Come up here. Deal with the Artanis. Rotate around. Come up around through here. See if you can't get a stun, some kind of lockdown onto the Artanis, and take him out. Be in the defensive. Play under your immortal, rather than trying to be the aggressors when you don't have your full squad. Just my thoughts. My thoughts. What do you guys think in chat? Be nice, but what do you think? I think that's how they better defend that, and then they can move in afterwards. And the immortal sitting here with about 20% shielding, so that'll go down pretty quickly here. Leoric and Artanis back up in the top lane, facing off against each other here. The big swap, we didn't see it here. I'm gonna post up here real quick. The big swap there from Artanis onto Leoric was a reverse swap. He went back and pulled the Leoric into his wall, but ultimately able to survive is the Leoric. And the Immortal does take out this bottom fort here. The throw onto ETC, but it's gonna be Anduin popping that eye bomb just a little bit too late there. ETC did get the mosh, but got interrupted as well. They do get the kill onto Jaina though. How's Jaina doing on that quest? 99.63, so she's got a bit to go yet. But a 2-for-1, and again, this is what we saw in game number 1, and so Greymane took the cursed bullet, and I understand why. I think it was the wrong choice based on how things have gone for them. I think that they really needed that go for the throat. It just would allow them to finish so many of these heroes that they haven't been able to kill. Also, dodge Garrosh. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So Artanis gonna get caught into this Entomb. The blind coming out though might be able to make it back to his tower, and if he does, he's probably okay, but he doesn't. ETC's gonna knock him back, and that's gonna help them get that next kill. So Roll1's doing a great job of finding the isolated kill targets. It's the team fights that they're not having the strength to complete. So they got to find that coordination to be able to get these team fights. Do you really understand why? Because I don't. Well, I think the idea is that they're trying to look for one hero that they're blowing up with the Cursed Bullet. There's the Cursed Bullet onto Garrosh. But Cursed Bullet into Garrosh is almost kind of a backwards thing, right? Because you're getting him to a point where he's got more armor, so he's going to take less damage from your other abilities. So I think that's what they're trying to go for, is just, you know, get in and blow somebody up. But again, they've got, you know, Lunara as their other damage, so to me it makes more sense with the go for the throat. So here we go, 5 on 4 right now as Artanis is working on that Shaman camp. Chastise going out, hits the Garrosh, and there's no talent advantage here. It's just the level. So I mean, this is the time to try to get it. Artanis is now gonna go. Never mind, he's gonna come up here. Halftime goes over in favor of Roll1Esports now. So they, again, I mean, they do have the poke potential here, and they're gonna work on clearing. Again, they've got the advantage on this. The big swap onto Lunara here. She's gonna get the leap of faith out. Leoric's gonna go ahead and spooky ghost his way out of the route. So. No fear. Actually, field study still would have procced. So yeah. Hey, you know what? It's I just fizzed. That's a name that I'd say entirely wrong. Not entirely wrong, but too many times. We do see the mosh pit onto the hammer, but it kind of got interrupted, I think, by either the immortal or maybe the movement from the entomb there. But again, here Zad now getting very low. They get the kill onto Sergeant Hammer. ETC getting that face melt is going to survive. Lunara falling just up above here. Leoric needs to take that gift of a swap and get out. Like, this is they've got all the time in the world to just reset. The throw out and the something. Oh, he was Spooky Ghost. That's right. And Deckard getting the kill with that Stone Curse. And now they're going to get their Shaman Camp. So Artanis is going to be able to bring this down pretty quickly. Certainly, I think, before ETC gets here. Pretty heavy commitment to defend at the Immortal. They don't really need too much, as, again, Artanis doing a lot of work here. Big stun going out onto the Greymane, the taunt as well here. Curse Bullet out onto Deckard. Can they get there? Oh, Lunara jumping over the Garrosh is going to bring him a bit low in that Entomb. But it looks like right now it's going to be Soak Every Lane taking the Immortal between the Sergeant Hammer and Artanis. So a little bit of chat in about the Go for the Throat versus the Cursed Bullet for sure. And of course, Greymane got CC'd like crazy that fight. He couldn't move or attack it. Yeah, there was a period that Greymane just kind of wasn't a hero for that team for a short bit there. So Leoric in the bot lane gets them to the level 16, trying to push out that lane, maybe equalize that structure in the bot lane, but this top fort is going to go down as the Immortal still sitting pretty healthy, about 85%. Is this a giant killer? It is. So even more damage potential coming out from the hammer. Big root. Need to be careful here. There comes the Ring of Frost, so no follow-up onto that one here. And ETC getting that face melt, knocking back the Artanis, making sure that he can't do that phase prism. And the Immortal is going to go down here. Power Slide used to make sure that ETC doesn't get caught in the root. Does Jaina have Ice Block? She does. Is that what it's called? Improved Ice Block, of course. I was going to say it's got to be Ice Block, right? But other heroes have Ice Block and it's different. So now Artanis is solo in the bot lane. We'll see here. Can they get a fight here? Can this Leoric help with their engage? Now, okay, there's the throw onto the Anduin. The Light Bomb coming out, giving a big shield, getting a big heal out of it as well. The sleep, though, onto 4. Lunara trying to get some work done. And Jaina's very low. Artanis in the middle here is going to make use of that suppression pulse, but doesn't matter. Is going to fall. Now Hammer getting caught in the Entomb. A big, massive mosh pit from ETC. Gonna get the kill onto Garrosh and Deckard, and this is what Roll1 needs to get back into this game. They already have the bottom fort. They've got a great wave here with a siege camp. This fort is toast. And how much more can they get? Their top keep has almost no health. And there's still 30 seconds until the bulk of Soak Every Lane is coming back onto this map. They're going to make sure that these towers and wall are down at the very minimum, and with the power of Greymane Siege and Lunara, they may very well be able to take this keep, which would be absolutely fantastic for them. I don't think they can get game. There's not enough time for that, and Anduin had to go back. So instead, they make use of this time. They get right onto this Immortal. They're going to have enough. I think they can get this to halftime even before anybody shows up. I was thinking that they were going to the top one. My mistake. Because, of course, it shows the little axes, the crossed axes. And they burn this thing down quickly. So halftime already here. Both teams sitting at 19, level 19. And we'll see. Is the Shaman Camp... It's not really feasible for them to get it. I mean, Soak Every Lane does not want to go back and invest resources and time in that. And now, this game turned around. It's all about Roll1Esports here playing it patient. They have the time. They have catapult pressure. And they can see the Artanis over here, thanks to the Wisp. So they know that he's not here on the defense. That said, they say that's fine. You can have that camp. We're going to get onto your Immortal. Rotations coming in. Garrosh is looking. He does get the stun onto the ETC. The blind coming out. So that is going to slow things down. It's not a very long cooldown. It's only, what, 50 seconds? Yeah, so pretty easy there. ETC is going to get caught by the swap. Cursed Bullet going to bring the Artanis down to about half. But still, a great place so far for Roll1Esports. They can work on getting a little bit of soak here as they are just slightly behind on the XP to 20, but mostly because Soak Every Lane has the opportunity to gather elsewhere. That's a little bit, in some ways, a little bit safer, pushing the lanes out to them. Artanis being called back in here. Again, both teams close level. Oh, no. Anduin, what are you doing, buddy? Gonna get stunned. Here comes the light bomb, the unstoppable used, and that's gonna be Anduin going out. Mosh Pit gonna get interrupted by the Immortal here. Leoric having to ghost walk out. No kills yet for Roll1Esports. His level 20s now available for Soak Every Lane, and that was a triple kill for Soak Every Lane. That's gonna give them the Immortal for sure, and depending on how long it takes them, it might even be game. Oh no, that was... So I mentioned positioning in game number 1, and that is not what you want to see out of your Anduin walking up into a position where they can get swapped. Immortal is going to go down. Now I think that Anduin will be up, so the pressure in the top lane is... I mean, it's a little bit of a red herring here, right? I mean, it's not going to get the keep... Or it's not going to get the core by any means. It's going to certainly stall out the pressure there. We will have everybody up by the time the Immortal gets to the keep. The wall, maybe not. Okay. Here we go. Immortal coming in. ETC getting a little bit of damage there. We got our level 20s here. Alberto rather forward here. Has the Silence and Tomb, but the Immortal is still a threat, so they can't just ignore that. Artanis is going in, getting a ton of damage onto the Leoric, so have to be really careful here. Looking for the swap, gets the face melt, so swap not going to happen. Anduin is in the worst place possible, is going to get the light bomb, so it's going to get him a little bit of a shield. Now ETC getting very low. The Silence and Tomb going out onto Artanis. He's going to get thrown over thanks to Into the Fray. Oh my god, Alberto has no health. At least the Immortal is gone now. And apparently Recyclic got a Decimate. Let me turn off that chat. So the Immortal's gone. But Soak Every Lane is still here. And by the way, that siege camp apparently got cleared out by the catapults. So Curse Bullet out onto Hammer Time here. And this is... So Soak Every Lane staying a little extra time here. They've got the hammer. And this is looking like it could be... I mean, this could be the final fight if they get in here. What is Greymane's level 20 again? Okay, so you take the upgraded Curse Bullet. Let's take a look at this. This becomes an ability as opposed to heroic now. So 30%, but the cooldown is reduced as well by 20 seconds. So nice face melt out of the ETC, protecting the Anduin. Gonna be a Ring of Frost, doesn't hit. And I gotta tell you, like, Anduin is playing so aggressively, and it's I just worry it's not going to work out. This time it's going to be Greymane going to be taken out. Mosh Pit coming in. There is going to be a stay a while and listen here. Light Bomb coming out is going to help ETC stay alive for just a moment. There's the death metal. And I think that this is all but game for Soak Every Lane now. They've got a couple catapults if they can protect them, which, I mean, they also have a hammer. So they've got all kinds of siege from behind. I don't think that Lunara can do enough damage to overcome the Deckard healing here, especially with hammer at max range there. Starting to work on the core. Shielding is gone. Leoric gets caught by the root. Garrosh is fairly low. Philip K may fall here. Trying to get the shield does go down. So one final kill for Roll1Esports at the end, but ultimately it's going to be Soak Every Lane taking the victory, the 2-0 over Roll1Esports. All right, let's see. All right, show the statistics here for you. $18 kills to 10, so a little bit closer on the overall standings there on kills.
Hey.
Hey, welcome, Philip K. It's good to chat with you again. It feels like it's been a long time.
I think it has.
Right. So congratulations there on your victory. So pretty strong showing. How you guys feeling after that?
Oh, we're feeling pretty good. I thank my team for carrying me today.
For carrying you. So how much work did they have to put in for that?
Oh, a lot. Did you see the death counts? I think I had like majority of the deaths on our team tonight.
Let's see. So this one, yeah. So you fully had half of the deaths on game number 2 for sure. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Well, good for them to, make sure that you pay for their chiropractor bill, huh? So, all right, let's talk about these games. So, game number 1, one of the things that I said about game number 1 is that it felt like overall a lot of the, and really actually now that I think about it, it continued into game number 2 is that both teams were able to get kills, right? They were able to rotate, find ganks, but typically it was one kill and it didn't stop too much of the momentum. Whereas when you guys got, team fights, you won the team fights. So how does your communication change? And let's start with one specific fight, which you'll probably remember. You guys were on the siege camp down 10-9, or you were up 10-9, their siege camp, and they ended up winning that fight. Didn't even get level 10s, I don't think, after that.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you guys adjust things? What is your communication like? How do you ultimately then come back and win that game? What are some of those details like?
We just don't have a defeatist attitude. Like, we lost the fight, but it's no big deal. We're still somewhat up in experience. They probably get the Dragonite, but like, what, a 6-minute Dragonite? We can deal with that. Just, don't decide we've lost the game before we've actually lost it. Sure.
And so when you guys are... so this was... Actually, both of these were your map picks, if I remember correctly. And so I do recall when we were talking about the picks and bans and all that stuff that, there was a little bit of a moment of hesitation trying to figure out what to pick. And then I was like, oh, Light Bulb, let's go to Dragonshire. So is this so Dragonshire, I'm assuming then, based on the tone of your voice, is a fairly comfortable map, and it looked pretty comfortable for you guys. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think it's our most played map, but yeah, we're decent at it.
Sure. So, when you guys get to the point where, there was a point where you guys were top and they were bottom? No, it was the other way around. They went top, got the bruiser camp. You guys went bottom, got the bottom bruiser camp. And as you guys are coordinating all this and seeing, you had already taken their bruiser camp up top and all that stuff. So there's all kinds of like tic-tac-toe level game mastery going on here. How much in advance are you guys talking about these things? What kind of communication is there about the enemy team's movements and what you expect of them to do? How do you guys play that?
I think we're usually trying to figure out what the enemy team's doing and then plan around that. I can't say we talk about very much like in advance, like how we're gonna plan the game to go, but we're definitely like in the moment trying to figure out what they're doing and what's the best move.
How often do you find you're right?
A lot.
Just the way that you said trying to figure out what the enemy team's doing. In my mind, I heard that as what are they doing, as opposed to what are they doing, right? Like,
it's usually not very hard to figure out. There are good things to do on the map, and the other teams we play against are very good, so they're doing the good thing.
Right, yeah, for sure. So you guys banned out in game number 1 the Oriole, the Falstad, and ultimately the Greymane. Switched that around a little bit in game 2 for the Sylvanas and Rhaegar, because of course they took both of those heroes in game number 1. And we saw the Greymane come into game number 2. Falstad specifically target, or just because you didn't want to see it on the map? Didn't want to have those rotations?
It was specifically targeted because we didn't want to see it on the map.
Cool.
Yeah, we knew they had played it before, and we didn't want to see it on that map in particular.
Right, gotcha. Cool. And when did you guys decide on the hammer draft? Like, at what point in the draft, or was it pre-draft that you decided this is the way you want to go, or was it until the 5th pick that you're like, oh, wait a minute?
It wasn't at the 5th pick, but it was something we were thinking about beforehand. But the decision was made during the draft.
Gotcha. Okay. So not necessarily right at the beginning, but going into the game, but as you saw how things were kind of playing out, it seemed to make sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, it worked out pretty well. Obviously, you guys got the victory and pushed it out. It did look a little bit. There was one really heavy spark of life there where, Roll1 seemed to be coming into their own, and you guys took that last fight and ultimately pushed on to victory. So, again, congratulations on that. This is going to put you guys up to 9 points, which puts you ahead of Roll1Esports now.
Oh, good.
Just slightly behind Spooky Ghost. You guys have one more game to catch up to about half the division. How are you feeling about where you guys are in the standings? Do you feel like so that's going to put you at number 7 with one additional game to play? Do you feel like you guys are kind of a sleeper team that you'll find yourselves a little bit higher in the standings, or do you feel like you're kind of in the middle of this 12-team bracket?
I feel like we played some games against some really good teams that could have gone either way, and I'm excited to face them again in the finals.
Good deal. All right, well, I have one last question for you, then we'll go ahead and wrap up. What moment tonight do you feel was a particularly cinematic moment, or a highlight moment that, something you did, or your teammates did, or the opponents did?
I remember distinctly in game 2, we were defending the Immortal while just up hitting it top, and the enemy team decided to jump on our team, and my team won. They won a 4v5, and that was pretty cool.
Fair enough.
I think it was like in the second Immortal phase.
I will tell you, if I remember correctly, I was watching it on the minimap, and I called out what I think happened. It looked to me like you had a reverse swap, so like you went back into your fort in the top lane there and swapped Leoric into your fort. Oh yeah, did that happen?
He didn't die. That did happen. He didn't die from it though.
He didn't.
He didn't. No, he's Leoric. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool too.
But I did call it out that it did happen, but I didn't catch it on the stream itself. I was like, oh, hey, we just missed this cool thing that just happened, but let me tell you that it happened. So sorry we didn't catch it, but if you replay, you'll see it on the minimap. It's down there.
All right.
So all right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up. Any shout outs you'd like to make?
Okay. I think I just want to shout out my team for playing really well tonight, and I want to shout out the opposing team for being good sports. I think I had fun tonight, and everyone played really well.
Good deal. I agree.
All right.
Well, thanks again for joining me. Have a great night, and don't forget to report your match.
I won't.
Good deal. All right. All right, that's going to wrap us up, everybody, for tonight. Soak every lane over Roll1Esports 2-0. And that's it. I don't think there are any other... Yeah, there aren't any other games. There are some more games this weekend, however. We've got coming up tomorrow 2 games on the Nexus Gaming series. Only 2 for the Friday. It's going to be Heroic Division Chicken Nuggets versus Sky 5. And it's going to be... Let's see, Division C West, Arrogant Nephilim versus Vilefin Murgles. So that first game starts at 9:30. The second game is 11:30 Eastern time. Depending on how game number 1 goes, maybe we'll, throw in a replay cast in the middle there. You can find both of those right here at twitch.tv/Arrow of the Storm. We'll also have a couple of games on Saturday, so, tune in, watch the games, have some fun, and, bring a friend, right? Snargles, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate you stopping by. And let's see, who is available for a raid? And you know what? Let's send everybody to Kai Berries. Looks like she's playing some Storm League. So thanks again, everybody. Have a good night. And this broadcast has been brought to you by the Nexus Gaming Series.